Okay, Erica, I'm doing this for you. Oven's preheated. This whole thing takes as long as it takes to make the biscuits, okay? So as you can see, I have exactly 1 pound of breakfast sausage done. I kind of pull it apart by hand first. I'm going to put these biscuits out. You'll see now. This literally is, when it's done, that'll be done. Okay, so package 8 biscuits. You'll want to double this up, just so you know, because you got boys that are probably good eaters. At least I would think they would be. And so there's more people in your family. So that's going to obviously require you to make more stuff. All right? Cool. So that's there. I'm going to dump this in the oven. And I got to put the timer on. It's 15 to 17. We'll go 16 minutes. And there we go. So this is probably the best tool you'll ever buy. You see that thing? This is one of them meat chopper rubbers. Mary bought it for me. It's great. So I'm going to start breaking this up a little bit. Once this pan gets nice and warm, this will go pretty quick. Keep a knife handy to clean it out if you buy one as you go. So we're going to go the full time to make this happen. All right. But the reason for that is sometimes you don't get enough fat in your pork sausage, so you have to compensate for that. If that happens, and this point will compensate, usually all you do is you add a little bit of extra butter to it before you start actually making the gravy. You throw a tablespoon or so of butter into your chopped up breakfast sausage and get that moisture in there because you need that. Now you don't drain it. You let the sausage cook, you keep that fat. That's really all your flavor right there. I'm going to go ahead and get the flour out. Man, these basils ain't doing too good. So I started on high heat just to get it going. And there's just a couple little things you're going to throw in there extra. See, you're getting the actual home version of this, girl. This ain't going on Facebook. Okay, it's starting to get soft. Basically lightly warming up. So I'm going to keep that going the way it is until I can actually chop it up. I do throwdowns every now and then here. And biscuits and gravy is usually one of them. So I don't give up this particular recipe freely because it could cost me. People I know will use my own recipe against me. I don't blame them. I do the same thing. Okay, let me throw this out. And once it starts going, once that gravy starts moving, it goes pretty good. I'm going to block your view for a minute. We're going to add a little bit of garlic in there, okay? A little bit of granulated garlic. This one says powder, but it's actually a little bit granulated. I buy the freeze-dried stuff, so it's never really powdered, you know. And then we put in thyme. I'm using store-bought sausage, Jimmy Dean's Hot. I usually like to make my own. I just haven't. I do that more in the summer. I don't feel like grinding meat and everything else during the winter months. Because it's, you know, not fun. You got to clean up and everything. Summertime, it's different. Windows are open. You feel good. I got enough work to do in the winter. All right, let's see how we're doing. All right, get a spoon out and mix it. I'm kind of done with this little instrument of the day. Throw that out over there. And we're going to use this white one. Okay, so mix this up, get her going. I have it all broken down pretty well, so that spoon will finish it up. Alright. Let's get that last piece up. Alright, let that roll and give that a minute. I'm going to turn that down now. Before you throw your biscuits in the oven, get your pan hot. Turn it up on high, and then, this way that pan's nice and hot and starting to warm up your sausage before you have to start cooking it. It's kind of just timing things. So we're going to let this sit for about another minute. Unless I get impatient. Then we won't. This is like Jeopardy, remember? Do 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 do. Yeah. That went 45 seconds. That was good enough. I don't know if you can see that. We do have some moisture. I got a little leaving now on the floor for quarters. Just flip that right out of there. Okay. Sausage isn't quite done, so I'm not going to start it yet. But we have moisture. That's all we're looking for. And I might actually just throw a little butter in it because I actually like the way it tastes. So give that about another minute. And then we're going to put the flour on the meat. Before we do that, we'll make sure we have enough moisture, of course. This has got to be the most boring video you ever watched, right? Because we're gonna roll it out all the way from start to finish. All right, where are we at here? There's some moisture, you can see it. I like a little bit more than that, so this sausage is a little bit leaner than I like. So you know what? We're gonna throw just a tad of butter in there. Grab something that I haven't contaminated yet. Here we go. So I'm only going to use like a half a tablespoon. Warm that up, get that butter off the spoon. There we go. That's it right there. Now we're going to do that. Let's mix that up. Get that butter melted and the juice around here quickly. Get that meat coated. Really, the fat is all about coating the meat. So we want enough of that so that flour soaks into the meat. Because what you don't want to taste flour, man. I don't think anybody wants to taste that shit. Okay. So, here's the technical part. Always make things look hard, but when they're really easy. That's the restaurant logos here. So we're going to use, you see this 1 tablespoon of flour. All right. We're going to go second. This one's going to be a little bit of a heaping, but you're not using 3 on this one. Okay. So you just want enough to coat that meat. All right. Got our little spoon out. And now we're going to cook that meat up and let it eat up some of them juices in there. Because that's what's going to... Basically, you're making a roe right among the meat versus putting it in a pan. A lot of people just, and in a pan. They try to heat it and create a road and then fill in the blanks. They're absolutely the wrong way to do it. You know, and, a restaurant would never take that process. It takes too long and it's too inconsistent. So you don't want to do that. No, I would never do that in my places. I'll tell you that. I'm content. I don't think we need any more flour for that. So you have two options. You can use half and half, heavy cream, or you can use regular whole milk. Me, I'm doing heavy cream. All right. I just love the way it tastes. It's rich. It's creamy. It's got all the goodness that I'm looking for. And we're going to do about, a cup. Again, with the no measure, but it's about a cup. I know this pan pretty well. And you can feel it in the quart container. So we're going to start off with that. That's my base. I always use that as a base. That's beautiful, man. And then, once that warms up, which is going to be doing pretty quickly. Once that warms up, we're going to top it off with milk. Whole milk, of course. We don't do no low fat milk in this joint. So while that's cooking or warming, time. Okay? You want to use a little bit of time. A little bit, not tons, just a little bit. Probably less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. You're just wanting that to get in. That's going to flavor it up pretty well, believe it or not. And on the garlic, same thing. Take a little bit of pinch of this, not too much. All we're doing is boosting. We're not really changing anything. We're just going to boost the flavor up. All right. Starting to get warm. I'm not sure. Let me put that on there. Not sure if you can see the color of this really well. But it went from a really snow white of heavy cream into off-white, bone white. So that means we're getting warm. Biscuits have 4 minutes and 36 seconds left. Okay? That's what the timer says. So as soon as this boils, we're going to let it start thickening just a little bit. And then we'll thin it with the milk to get the volume we need for the biscuits. Are you getting excited? You ready to make this yet? I just turned the heat up a little bit. Our refrigerator is really, really cold. Because I like to keep things fresh. Well, get your first bubbles, man. Don't make a liar out of me. Turn that light on and see where we're at. Those biscuits. All right, we got some time on those, Mary's barricaded in her office. She's working out of the house. And she's on the phone with her boss, so I'm kind of trying to talk a little quiet. So we're starting to bubble. When it starts to bubble, like every other rouge you make, it's when it starts to thicken, right? So we want to move it. See, it's bubbling up. So now it's getting hot. I'm going to move this over and get it a little bit more centered. I'll let that go. Yep, you can see that. You see the mark? It's not coming back. See that? That's exactly what we're looking for. All right, as soon as they don't leave a mark, that's thickening. That's when you throw in about a half cup of milk, something like that. Third, half cup, whatever. Start, you can start low. You can always re-thicken, but, make it the way you guys like it. I like them kind of thick, the gravy. I like them enough to penetrate the biscuits, but not thin enough where I drool it all over myself when it comes off the spoon. Let's move that around so it warms. Okay. Alrighty. Says 1 minute and 50 seconds for the biscuits at 16. It says 15 to 17. We'll see where it goes. In the meantime, I'm getting me something to eat because I'm hungry. I just got back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Warm these up in the microwave. Our cabinets are cold. Whatever the reason, who knows. Okay. See it? Boiling and thickening. So we're not going to add any more. To me, that's a little thin, so I'm going to let it thicken. When those things are done, this is done. It'll thicken up in that amount of time. As you can see, she's hot and she's going. Let me put this away. I don't need it anymore. We'll take that. Yep, there's the thickness I'm looking for. We good. Pull that right off. Look at that. That's the thickness I'm looking for. You can mark it and it doesn't come in. And it's got a great, look at that, great texture. Okay, we'll stop that. And this says 10 seconds for the biscuits. 3, 2, 1. Let's stop that. Let's see where we're at. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. So a liar I was not made. See that? The timing is perfect. Everything is together. Right? As long as it takes to make the biscuits, as long as it takes to make the gravy. How wonderful is that? So, let's grab one of these. I'm starving. Long day. Physical therapy for my hip. Going to the store, gas, oil changes, my vehicle. Grocery store. Some bullshit. Semi-retirement's a lot of work, just so you know. All right, I'm going to move a little bit so you can see what we're doing. I'm sure you know how to serve this, but here you go. This is how beautiful this is going to be. Nice and thick. Look at that, girl. Come on. That's beautiful. All right. Any questions? Let me know. Hope you enjoy.